Are you scared of losing subs, views, AdSense, and the entire audience that you've built on your YouTube channel?
Don't worry, you are in the right place because we have been there and done that.
In today's video, we are going to talk about what it's like to change and pivot your niche and the direction that you've been going on your YouTube channel, give you some insight on how we've been doing it ourselves with our channels.
If you are so excited to continue watching this video, then go ahead and comment pivot in the comments and let's get into it.
Awesome. So today I have Carmen Britt from the Wealth Nation channel. She is joining us today, a dear friend of mine, and I thought it would be amazing to have her on this video and discuss the whole topic around changing YouTube niches and pivoting, because her and her husband Darius are going through the same thing as I have been on this channel right here. So I think it'd be great to just touch on what the journeys have been like, what we're going through, and just everything in that, all of the above.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. And it's really something that's near and dear to our heart, especially now, like you said, because we literally just kind of made this pivot. So I'm excited to get into the topic so we can start sharing and hopefully providing value for those of you who might be in the same situation that we have been in.
On this channel here, it was heavy into the make money online niche, and I could leave a link up here on the video I made about how I no longer in the make money online niche. But yeah, for mine, it was, I built an audience of over 200,000 subscribers, 8.5 million views on, make money online, passive income, side hustles. And I've, done so many videos about that, but
I think killing it in the game, right? It's killing it.
And now it's pivoted to, how do I explain this? What I'm calling this channel now is the online journal of a high achieving entrepreneur, where we go into more than just making money online. It's the 4 pillars now are not just, business and revenue, but also strong CEO mindset, self-mastery. What's the first one?
Crap.
The first one.
We're still working on the details.
You can see it on the banner. But anyway, it's up there. You and Darius, could you tell us a little bit about your guys' transition?
Yeah, so initially when Darius and I started the Wealth Nation channel, it was all about teaching people how to use whole life insurance responsibly. And then we got into this situation where we were very much trying to grow our channel, and we're just following the algorithm. Like whatever YouTube told us to do regarding money, that's what we did. And what we didn't understand, or what we fully didn't comprehend, was that we have a business on the back end of YouTube. So we're not just creating YouTube videos for AdSense, we have a business. And so we are very much using YouTube as the marketing arm for our life insurance business. And so anytime we would talk about a topic that wasn't necessarily related to life insurance, we recognized that was hurting the marketing necessity of our business. And so we were chasing YouTube, the algorithm of just trying to get views and get subscribers, and just in that, and not thinking about how that's all going to flow back into our channel. So what we recognized was that was kind of affecting the clientele that was coming our way, because they may or may not really understand what it is that we're talking about. They may not be in alignment with what we're talking about. We might not be the right fit for them. And it wasn't until we really just had to be honest with ourselves and say, one, what content do we want to create first and foremost? What are we passionate about? And then second, what's really going to help us grow and scale our business as much as possible? Because the train that we were on was great, but it was more of what I can say like the Vanity Train, of just the sense of like, just grow the channel without having the strategy behind it. So now we're at a position where I can say we're pivoting, but if anything, I think we're just getting back to where we started, of having a ton of fun recording videos, not even worried about the algorithm, and making sure that all of the videos are in alignment with our business at the end of the day.
Right. No, I love that. I think a couple of things I caught from that was kind of that quick, or not even quick, but that dopamine hit that we get when our analytics are saying 1 out of 10.
Yeah, 1 out of 10. You get a little confetti. You're like, yes. Make more of those.
Yeah, you got a 20% click-through rate, and it's your next viral video, and you're like, yeah. It feels, it's hard to explain, but that feeling feels more better. that feeling feels great because the public can see it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it feels authoritative. And
that's a good word. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the things one of the points I wanted to touch on was a lot of YouTubers or educators in the YouTube space will say like, recreate your top content, double down, triple down on that.
Yes.
But I think that's what slowly just, at least for me, and I think you can probably relate, it just kind of killed my vibe for my channel. It killed my evolution, it killed my creativity. And it's like you can only make a topic on one thing over and over like so many times.
Yeah.
It's just like you can't remix anymore. And so I think that you can double down on your top content. I think that's a good idea, but you have to be very careful and just realize, I'm like, is this top content aligned with what I want to do, with the business behind my channel?
Totally.
Right?
And I would agree too. I feel like when we first started our YouTube channel, we were just so excited about the comments and the likes and just the service that we knew that we were giving to our audience. And then once it changes to you're chasing the algorithm, like the connection to your viewers kind of becomes secondary in the sense, because you're just like, how do I get more views? And you forget like what you're trying to create. What is the purpose of you creating that video for in the first place? Like, it's not always about going viral. Your video can completely tank, but if you get like 2 comments on there that was like, this changed my life, like it doesn't matter if you went viral or not. Right? And then that's kind of what we got back to, is like, no, what are we doing this for? And then what are we passionate for? Because we really felt like we were using YouTube as permission to get out there and get our message out there. And we felt like the more permission we got from the algorithm by them, recommending us more, giving us more views, we were getting further away from our core message.
Yeah, totally. And I think for both of us, for all of us and us creators out there, I think one of our biggest fears is we do this, we follow what the algorithm says because we're literally scared to lose like what we know our views are capable of and what we know our top content is able to produce. And so I think pivoting on YouTube, the first thing you have to be prepared for is that you're going to lose subs and views. No matter what, you're going to, it's
going to happen. Even if you're feeding the algorithm, you just never know what's going to happen. So you might as well be true to yourself and create the videos that you want to create, and that's going to serve your business at the end of the day, because YouTube is going to favor you regardless if you feed the algorithm or not. And so I think once we kind of got to that like ego hit where I was like, if we post 3 videos a week, if we post every single day, YouTube still may not favor this one video that we think is like bomb. And then, it just goes back to, what are we doing this for? And how can you keep your sanity so that burnout doesn't happen?
Right.
Burnout is so real.
Yeah. And did you guys notice that any of your top content that used to like go viral and perform before, did it kind of die down for you, or did it kind of continue? I'm just curious, because I know, at least for mine, my top heavy hitter titles, even those started to die down after a while.
I'd say they still continue, but not at the velocity that they were.
Gotcha.
They're still our top, but they're not as gaining the traction that they used to.
Going forward, it's kind of, or to make the decision, it's kind of like, because a lot of the first question normally is, it's like, well, do I continue on this channel? Or do I start a brand new one? That's always the first. And I think from my perspective, if you're totally switching niches, like if you're going from like a cooking
financial to cooking, you might want to switch.
Right. You might want to, completely start over. But I think if it's a light pivot, which I could kind of categorize as both of ours, it's not totally different. There's a lot of things that intertwine with the new direction that we're both going. I think it's definitely a good idea to stick to the original channel and the audience you built. Because there's people from the very beginning that will stay with you.
Absolutely.
No matter what. Because they really love you.
And one thing, as you're talking about that, it made me think about being clear with why you're on YouTube in the first place. And I think the difference is, and I'm not trying to sound ungrateful in this, but I just want to make sure that you all hear what I'm saying in this vein. Is just, you have to use YouTube and not let YouTube use you. And when YouTube uses you, in the sense it's you're feeding that algorithm, you trying to stay to the top and doing whatever YouTube is telling you, but you could be getting away from your core message, and or you could just be having burnout because, again, you're not necessarily creating content that serves you. So if you want to use YouTube, then you have to stay true to your message. You have to stay true to what your wants and needs are. You have to stay true to your business needs, whatever that may entail. And so you just have to look at it from those two perspectives, because if you continue to deal with the algorithm, in our sense, we recognize that we saw what the future was going to look like for us. And that was either probably in the future worse metrics from our channel, because we knew that if we continue to create this content that we aren't necessarily like excited about, and don't get me wrong, it's not like we hated doing the videos, we just knew like this wasn't, we like talking about it, but it's not like the things that get us super excited to talk about. We were just doing what YouTube told us to do. And it really was just one of those things where it was like, we can continue down this train and we know we'll be miserable in the future, or we can just make this pivot and stay true to what we want to do and be happy and excited and get back to the beginning phases when we were just on fire to connect with people, regardless of what we were trying to do.
Yeah, no, I love that point of where you talked about being miserable. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly where I was too. I'm like, it's not physically possible for me to get in front of the camera and continue making these videos. Yeah. It just wasn't.
And by the way, if you are a CEO or founder looking to really take your YouTube channel to the next level, because right now, maybe your channel's on life support, maybe it's struggling, I have excellent news for you, because this month I have opened up 5 spots to work personally one-on-one with myself and my team. And basically what we promise for you is that we will 5x your lead flow and lead generation from your YouTube channel within the next 90 days, or we will work with you until it happens. Guaranteed. Okay, so if you're interested in that, please check out the first link in the description and book a call today. On this strategy call, we'll basically like peel back the curtain on what exactly we're doing for our existing clients and how we have helped supercharge not only their leads and sales, but also their brand awareness and authority in their niche. Now, this is definitely for you if you have a refined offer, if you have a YouTube channel already where you've posted at least 40 videos, if you're able to post at least one piece of content per week, and if you're finally ready to outsource that dream YouTube team behind your channel, we will train them, we will manage them. And let me back up a little bit. This is not for you if you do not have a YouTube channel and if you're starting from scratch. So if you are a complete beginner in business and you have not started your YouTube channel and you're in that stage where you're still trying to figure it out, unfortunately, I won't be able to help you and we cannot accept your application. But if this does sound like you and if this resonates, definitely book a strategy session in the link in the description, and be sure to do it right now because those 5 spots will fill up super fast. So I will talk to you soon.
And so I think kind of step 1 is literally just to do it. Yeah. Like just with anything else we do, it's like going into the unknown. It's like you have to go back into the unknown again.
Yeah.
The outs beyond the unknown is where all the beauty comes and where all the answers come.
It's like starting all over again when you had 0 subscribers and trying to figure out how do I get somebody to watch this video.
And I think, I don't really suggest, I think it's just because you don't want to have it be to the point where I said like goodbye. I was like,
I'm out.
I was like, goodbye, I'm done with this channel.
I remember that phone call. I was like, oh, okay, Marissa, that's what we're doing. All right. Burnout is real, guys. Yeah. I can't tell you.
You don't want it to get to that point. So before that happens, I would suggest like, you guys had a recent video called Change is Coming, being real about the, I think that's a great way, kind of step 1, to get this pivot going.
Yeah, and also too with that video, like we had a significant life event happen, and so that also made us realign, like, okay, what are we waking up for, and what are we trying to do, like what are we on this earth for? And we recognized that every time we created a video that we weren't necessarily thrilled to create, we just knew that the title was catchy and people would watch it, and if it didn't perform well, then we were even more down in the dumps because we're like, oh, this video isn't performing well. But then when we go back into hindsight and look at it, it's like, you didn't want to create the video anyway. So now you're mad that it didn't perform well, and it's like almost the universe was talking to us like, stop doing this because we're not going to reward you because your heart's not in it to begin with. So at least create the content that you're excited about doing, and if it performs well or not, at least you know you had a ball creating the content, and it's out there, and you know somebody is going to connect with it and resonate with you. So I can't stress it enough of just, again, being true to what it is that you want to do.
Exactly, and that whole what she just mentioned is all about just building our legacy here on this earth. And I think it's really a privilege to have a channel, and whether 100 people watch it versus 10 million,
very good.
It's about the value that you're giving,
absolutely,
leading a life of service. And I think once you're feeling so in alignment, it may take a while again, but I think, you know, a new audience comes, new subscribers come, and that it'll eventually like build, you know, something that you'll evolution, right? I think this came back to my mind, is like it'll be a channel that can evolve with you.
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's the goal.
That's a huge point. Yeah, because I think that's what we were missing, because we were doing the catchy titles and things like that, but we recognized like our channel wasn't evolving. We were just stuck in those catchy titles, and we're completely different people than when we first started our YouTube channel. And unfortunately, our audience hasn't seen that growth because we're trying to get the views. And if we look back on it, you know, everything happens for a reason. We learned this lesson, but now we're like, okay, our channel has probably grown. We've all evolved, we've all changed. And looking back, like, would our first subscribers watch the content that we were creating, you know, 3-4 years now? It's like, I don't know if they would still continue to watch it, because they haven't necessarily seen the growth from us. And the people that I watch on YouTube, I love watching them because they take me along the journey, and I see their growth and I see the transformation, and it makes me aspire to want to do more. So I can also say that that's something that you should think about, is how transparent do you want to be? What is the journey that you want to take people on at the end of the day?
Yeah. Totally. And that vulnerability piece, it's like, you know, you don't have to say everything that's going on in your life, but it's like, hey, we are real people behind this channel, behind this business. We have children.
Yes.
We have things going on.
Yes.
And it's just like, you know, this is all part of our journey. I'm like, when we first started YouTube, we weren't mothers.
No.
I mean,
no.
like, that just that's a whole separate video, but it's
that's
like
a whole other channel in its own.
right. But I think just that honoring the evolution, and I can't see like how the people that are ride or die with you, that love you, wouldn't want to hang around for that.
So let's talk about have you guys lost subscribers since the niche pivot?
We don't, like, if you look in our analytics, we've never had a negative count, but they're just not growing as fast as they normally are.
But your new videos are getting subscribers.
Yes, our new videos are getting subscribers.
Oh, that's a really, really good thing.
Yeah, it's helpful. But it did get to the point where I have to look on Social Blade, but if I say we averaged, I think that the best we were averaging maybe 3,000 subscribers a month. And then it dropped to like maybe like 100 subscribers a month. And then that's where we were scrambling going, whoa, this is a big difference. Cause I remember like I would always look at like our subscriber count, just glance at it. And then I noticed like, wait, this hasn't moved in a minute. Yeah. And then I started looking more at the subscriber count. I was like, dang, we're not going anywhere. And then the AdSense fell off a cliff. And that was really interesting, because I would say Darius and I always kind of look at the AdSense as like a bonus, but then when it completely fell off the cliff, we recognized how helpful the AdSense was to the bottom line in our business.
You
so
still
it was like
want your bonus.
Yeah, you still want the bonus, right? Exactly. And so it was just like, you know, when the subscribers drop, when the views drop, and then that AdSense hit, we were like, oh, Can I curse?
Yeah, of course.
We were like, what are we going to do with our channel? And then like we weren't gaining clients at the same velocity we were, you know, just through the whole system. So we were like, something's got to give.
Yeah.
And then that's when we both kind of just stopped for a minute and was like, we got to get back to the basics, because can we blame our subscribers for staying with us? No. Can we blame the people who don't want to subscribe? No, because at the end of the day, we know like we could be doing better. We could be creating the content that we really love to create.
So in that hole, I don't know, lack of better words, hole, but the dip.
Hole, yeah, felt like a hole.
Yeah, when you're losing AdSense, everything's going down. When you know, you're not getting the engagement, you're not getting as many hot leads. like, what do you tell yourself? Like, what do you do?
You go in a corner and cry. No. So you have your pity party. You give yourself a pity party. We give ourselves 15 minutes, and then we got to come out of that pity party and just figure out a different game plan.
Yeah.
So what I would say is it made us reevaluate our entire business, not just YouTube, because what we recognized was Darius and I were both in corporate America, and the reason why we left corporate America is because we wanted freedom. And then we found out that within our business, we had positioned ourselves in a situation where we didn't have the freedom that we had aspired to have.
Sure.
So it was just realigning that. Okay, what are the goals? What are the things that we need to do to get us into this situation? And especially, like we said, there's a lot of different things that have happened behind the scenes. We're parents now, and freedom looks completely different than what it looks like when we weren't parents. So again, just reevaluating those goals that we want, and then going back and pressing play literally on everything in our business to make sure that we can follow the goals that we want to see throughout the rest of the year, I'd say.
Right. No, I love that. I love, bouncing out of a dip, because that's like literally I think the hardest part.
Yeah.
I mean, protecting your energy as you move forward.
Yeah. And also like the transparency behind that, like the everything was going down steadily, I'd say for months. And we just felt like, oh, it's going to bounce back, because the times where we had burnout and we stopped recording and didn't post any content, like our channel was doing better at that point than we were actively posting content.
I remember that.
Yeah. I was like, Marissa, how?
I was jealous, because I was like, they just took 3 months off.
And it's still performing.
And like, what the hell?
Yeah, so I'd say we got a little cocky, because we had a few burnouts where we were like, oh, it'll bounce back. We'll figure it out. And things kind of stayed stagnant, which was good. But then we were actively posting 3 times a week, y'all, and our channel was doing this. And we're like, what the hell is going on? And that's when we were like, okay, what's going on? What's wrong? Is our energy off? Yes. How do we fix it?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's incredible.
And it's still not fully back too. That's what I want to make sure that you all recognize too. Like our growth is still slowly climbing back up. We're still slowly gaining watch time and subscribers, and that AdSense is still significantly down compared to what it used to be. But I feel like we just have a more renewed energy, because we're not like counting all of the statistics anymore. We're just posting and letting it go.
Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely the best thing you can do. And I think you really have to be in it for the very long term.
Yes.
It's not about your next 5, 10 videos. It's about your next 100 again.
Yeah.
It's like you're really building up that back catalog to something different, like, to where you want to go. And so I think, and that's the thing. It's like, now we know 100 videos, it'll come way sooner than we think.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
After 400, what's another 100?
Yeah, exactly.
I know you're on that. Yeah.
So, but I think we'll talk about a couple of things we're doing to kind of get the ball rolling again. I think we're both in this content blitz mode. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was just, I think her and her husband, they can bang out some content a lot. I'm like, you guys made out 20 videos in a week.
It's helpful when you have a partner. It's like you said, we just talk on our videos.
Yeah. But I think a content blitz is definitely part of the strategy when you're, pivoting into your new direction.
Totally. Yeah, because you need to do, at least for us, we needed to do the content blitz. And for what does a content blitz mean for us is Darius and I will sit down, and for an entire week, we will record a month's worth of videos. So that might be 3 or 4 videos a day, whatever it is, so that we can make sure that we're ahead. And the point is for us in the perfect world would to be to stay ahead. It doesn't always happen that way. Shout out to our video editors. Thank you for being patient with us. But the idea is staying ahead so that you can focus on the business and everything else that has to come on the other side of that when you're pivoting. And whether if it's customer retention or other marketing strategies or just making sure that your funnel's still intact, you have to get the content out there and keep it running so that you can run the rest of your business. And you're not going back and forth doing this whole thing.
Yeah. But no, I think it's a great time when you also pivot, kind of a side note, but to reevaluate your systems and your workflows that you got going on behind the channel. Girl. Because as she mentioned, I mean, if you can get to a point where you're just focusing like 3 days out of the month
to create the content, then yeah, you have the whole rest of the 20 whatever days to do your income producing activities, to focus on your money making moves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times too, for you business owners out there, you know, we put so much energy in our videos, and not to say that you shouldn't, but sometimes the focus is the videos and not necessarily what happens after the video is over. And so that funnel creation, funnel maintenance is huge. It's a huge part of our business.
Yeah. And speaking of behind the scenes, one of my strategies, and one thing like I just encouraged them to do, was to do more behind the scenes, more vlogs, because I think that vlogs are increasingly important to especially YouTube business channels, because for so many reasons. But one, it's like for the business owner, it's very important, because at least the vlogs that I've made on my channel, they're my favorite channel, or my favorite videos to go back and rewatch.
Yes.
Because you're able to really get a snapshot of what business is like, of what life is like. And your subscribers and viewers can as well. And they can identify. It's like, oh, your daughter does swimming, mine does too, and blah, blah, blah. It's just like one thing in your daily week or life, or it can like create just a spark with whoever's watching.
Yeah. One of my mentors, who I love dearly, it always reminds me that at the end of the day, people want to feel connection. And we can be so overwhelmed with everything else that we have going on that we forget that we just need to connect with people. So I thank you, Marissa, for continuing to remind Darius and I, like, connect with your audience differently, because they need to see what life looks like outside of this this frame that you see. Like, we have arms, we have legs, you know, we have a house that we live in. Like, well, what does that look like? So it's awesome to connect with your audience in different ways.
Exactly. And speaking of like connecting in different ways, one thing that I tested recently was an unedited video. I literally like,
I haven't seen that one. I have to go and look at it.
You can hear me pressing record, beep, and I'm just like centering myself. I'm like, hey, and I just one take.
That's cool.
One take, and I encourage you guys to try an unedited video, because it's content. It's almost like, you know, when you do a live, you don't have the edits when you're doing a YouTube live. But one person told me, I think a couple, they were like, I really love this new style. Like, well, I'm not going to keep it, but I'm going to incorporate it, because you just literally upload it, throw a thumbnail, and you're done.
Yeah.
And there's no process, like sending it to, you know, there's no review. It's just up there. And then I think it also, skill-wise, it will force you to just be a better public speaker. Exactly.
You
just
got one take.
Just get it done.
And I love that too, because especially for a lot of the YouTubers who are just getting started, I know for us, we did like we were so stressed about being perfect and everything to come out good, and don't mix up your words or whatever it is. And I think that just takes all of that away for somebody to see an unedited video, and then you press play and then literally upload it. That's powerful.
Yeah, well, you know who did that, or maybe he still does, is the Minority Mindset guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He publishes unedited videos all the time.
Oh, I bet.
Like, he's just like with his phone recording in his living room. Like, so in today's blah, blah, blah news, I'm like, wow.
When you do a daily video, sometimes you just got to get it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to him.
Exactly. And I think the last point is YouTube Lives.
We were just talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that I've never done. And I really want to, but I think what's holding me up is like, oh, well, I don't have a recording platform. I don't have StreamYard. I don't have Restream or whatever it's called, and I don't even have like a really nice mic. But I'm just like, well, YouTube Studio has a YouTube Live feature.
Yes. Yep. we were literally just talking about that upstairs. We were like, let's do it. And you were like, I don't have this. I was like, Marissa, just press play, like, you know, on YouTube. So those are a lot of things that, you know, sometimes we have to get out of our comfort zone to get ourselves to start pivoting and doing different things that maybe we wouldn't normally do. YouTube Live is something that Darius and we played with a little bit, but we didn't commit to it. But hopefully in the near future, you'll see us commit to that, because that would be a nice way for us to connect to our audience.
Well, you guys saw a lot of success with your lives, right?
Yes.
I mean, you guys got a lot of views and
we did.
And engagement, and it was kind of like
a regular thing. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun, and we should get back to it. I don't remember why we stopped doing it, but I think it was, again, one of those things, the algorithm. We were like, nope, it didn't hit on the algorithm, so we're not going to keep doing it. But we really loved connecting with our audience, so we need to get back to that.
Awesome. Well, everyone, I hope this was a super, eye-opening video. I hope it sparked some ideas for you. And just, I think at the end of the day, it's just about, I'm looking at a record button, but it's literally about pressing record and pressing play in the sense of just making that pivot.
Yeah.
I mean, emotionally, energetically, it's just going to feel like ripping the Band-Aid off, and it's going to feel so much better.
Yeah, don't be afraid. It's just a process. And as a business owner, we know that we have seasons and we have cycles and things that we have to go through, but you can do it.
Yeah. So if you've made it to this part of the video, I encourage you to watch, this other way. I think it's this way.
It's this way. Yeah, we put it this way.
Okay. The video coming up next, all about the details behind me switching out of the Make Money Online niche. That video is coming up, so just click right here. Talk to you later.
Bye.
If you would have seen this channel exactly a year ago, you would have known that it was super extra heavy on make money online content, passive income,